We continue now at the top of Daf Lamed Vavam and Beis Meseches Yoma. This is Yoma Daf 36b. On the previous summit, we had a machlokas between Rabbi Akiva and Rabbi Yossi Aglili. What exactly is a korban ola? What is it being mechaper on? And the Gemara now explains the machlokas. Belav de nevela kamiflagi. They're arguing actually about the lav by nevela. Rabbi Akiva savar lav ma'al yehu. Rabbi Akiva holds that's a regular lav. For Rabbi Yossi Aglili savar lav ma'al yehu. That's not a regular lav. Rashi over here explains. Belav de nevela kamiflagi dechsiv asay acharav. This is a lav, you're not allowed to eat nevela, and there's an asay right after. It says lager asher b'sharecha titanena v'achali. You give it to the stranger in your cities, you should give it to him and he could eat it. Umiu al karchach ein ze nitak la'asay. Now we know that this is not a lav hanitak la'asay. A classic lav hanitak la'asay is when you violate the lav, you make up for it by doing some kind of asay. You steal, so you return what you stole, something like that. But this is not that. Dehan nesinasa lager iefshar la'achar sha'avar alosa asay shal achila. It can't be you're giving it to a ger after you violated the los asay and ate it. That would be too late. Obviously, the asay over here means before you violate anything. Instead, you should give it to a ger. Lo sochlu kol nevela. In other words, the pasuk means don't eat nevela. El lager titanena v'lo sochlu. Give it to the stranger. You shouldn't eat it yourself. So the question is, how do we look at that lav? That's actually the machlokas between Rabbi Akiva and Rabbi Yossi Aglili. Rabbi Akiva savar lav ma'al yehu. Rabbi Akiva says that's a regular lav. V'lok and all of you get malchus for that. V'lav the leket shicha upeya nami. Rabbi Akiva also says the same thing by the lav of leket shicha and peya. Asay de basrei me kara mashma. There's an asay over there that really means from the beginning you do it. V'hachi kamar kra. Here's what the pasuk means. V'leket kitzircha lo silaket. Don't collect for yourself leket. Rather you leave it for the ani in the first place. Velo selektenu, don't take it. Veloki you get malchus if you violate that. Vein ola ba'olav. That's why Rabbi Akiva says the korban ola can't be for those because those are genuine lavin which already have a punishment of malchus. There's no need for the korban ola to be the kapara. The kapara you already have a punishment. Rabbi Yossi Aglili savar lav de nevela. Rabbi Yossi Aglili holds by the lav of nevela. Avagav di al karchach asay de basrei me kara mashma. Even though of course the asay is really something to do in the first place. Hoel ubasrei de lav ksiv. Since it's written after the lav, Ein loken olav. There's no malchus in that case. The lodami lelav de chasima. It's not similar to the lav by chasima. Muzzling your animal is considered the prototypical lav that we learn out when you get malchus. It always has to be similar to the lav of chasima. Here it's not. Uba olav olan. Therefore, you bring the korban ola. That's the kapara. The lav de leket shicha upeya nami. The same thing is true by the lav by leket shicha and peya. You're not supposed to take those from the field. Afilu arminon dasei de basrei me karuhu mashma lo laki ola. Even if you say that the asay that's written afterwards means from the beginning, but still the fact that it has an asay written afterwards means there's no malchus, and therefore Rabbi Yossi Aglili holds the korban ola is going on that. That's the machlokas. Again, according to this opinion, that's the machlokas between Rabbi Akiva and Rabbi Yossi Aglili. Abaya says the kuli al molav de nevela lav ma'al yahav. It's not true. Everybody agrees the lav by nevela is a genuine lav. V'hacha betazov kamiflagi. The real machlokas between Rabbi Akiva and Rabbi Yossi Aglili is in the word ta'azov in the pasuk. The Rabbi Akiva savar ta'azov me kara mashma. Rabbi Akiva says the word ta'azov means from the beginning. For Rabbi Yossi Aglili savar hashta mashma. Rabbi Yossi Aglili says no, it means right now. Rashi over here explains. Abaya Omer dekuli al molav de nevela di al karchach asay de basrei me kara mashma. There's no choice. The asay certainly means from the first place. The lav ma'al yahav, that is certainly a regular lav. Umalkina Allah, you get malchus. They're only arguing about the word tazov by leket shich and peya. Rabbi Yossi savar hashta mashma. Rabbi Yossi says it means right now, meaning achar shalokat v'yavar alosase. After you have collected the leket shich and peya, and you've transgressed the los asay, nitko hakosav lasay, we then connect it to an asay, v'tzivo lo'ozvosham, we tell them, no, don't take it, you got to put it back, leave it over there, la'ani v'lager, leave it for the ani and the ger, u'lefikach ein lokan olav. Therefore, according to Rabbi Yossi, it actually could mean in sequential order. When you violate the lav, you should then do the asay, and you don't get malchus. Rabbi Akiva savar me kara kodim lakita koy asay, v'laki ala delo nitak lasay. Rabbi Akiva says, no, it means to say before the lakita, you have this asay, you should leave it, and therefore you do get malchus. it's not considered nitzak la'aseh, vein ola ba'olav, and therefore the ola is not relevant to the case of leket, shuch, and peya. So that's, again, that's Abaya's answer. And the Gemara continues, Tanu Rabbanan, the rabbis taught, this is a Tosefta, Ketzad Misvada, how do you do the vidoy? Avisi, Pashati, V'chatasi. You do it in that order. You say Avisi, then you say Pashati, then you say Chatasi. V'chein b'sa'ir ha'mishtaleach, when we find by the Psukim also, by the Sa'ir ha'mishtaleach, it says, V'svada olav, V'eskol avonos b'nei Yisrael, V'eskol Peshayim, L'chol Chatosam. So again it says Avonos, Peshoim, and then Chatos. V'chein b'Moshe, Homer, the same thing that Moshe Rabbeinu says in the Torah, no say Avon, V'fesha, V'chato. It says Avon, then Pesha, then Chato. Divrei Rabbi Meir, this is the opinion of Rabbi Meir. That's the order of the vidoy according to Rabbi Meir. The Chachamim say avonos elo hazadonos. The word avonos refers to when you do an isser on purpose. V'cheinu amar hikares tikares hanefesh ahi avona ba, talks about getting kares for doing an oven. Sounds like you did it on purpose. Peshoim, when it says peshoim elo hamordim, that refers to those who do it. Rashi says lahachas, just to anger God, to rebel against God. V'cheinu amar, like the pasuk says, Melech Moav pashabi, the king of Moav rebelled against me. V'yomer az tifsha livna. Similarly, it says tifsha livna, means livna rebelled. The people who lived in Livna rebelled against the king of Yehuda, Rashi says. Tifsha Livna ba'esahi. So therefore, again, it means rebellion. And l'chol chatosam, what does it mean? Chatos elu hashkagos. That refers to doing something by mistake. V'cheinu omer nefesh kisechata b'shkago. It says you do a chet b'shkaga by mistake. And so therefore, the Chachamim reason as follows: Umeachar shezvad al azdonos v'al amordim. If a person already did vidoy on things they did on purpose and as acts of rebellion, chozer misvad al hashkagos, you think then they're going to do vidoy on mistake? It doesn't make any sense. Why would you do such a light sin after you've already confessed much greater sins? Rather, the Chachamim say the order of vidoy is as follows: Chatasi v'avisi u'pashati lefanecha. You say I did shogeg, then you say I did zadon, and then I rebelled. Aniyu beisi v'chulu. That's the order of the vidoy. V'chein b'David u'omer. Similarly, that's what it says by David. Chataru im avoseinu he'evinu hirshanu. Same thing, same order. It talks about chet first, then avon, then rasha, then the idea of being someone who's rebelling against God. V'chein b'shlomo u'omer. The same thing is true by Shlomo. It says chatanu. You take a look over here in the Meseches Hashas, it's Chatanu v'Evinu Rashanu. Again, the same order by Shlomo HaMelech. V'chein b'Daniel Omer. The same thing is true by Daniel. It says Chatanu. Again, Meseches Hashas says Chatanu v'Avinu. So again, the same order. Chatanu v'Avinu v'Yershanu Maradnu. So therefore, the Gemara says, Elamau Shamar Moshe Nosei Avon v'Fesha v'Chata. If that's the case, if the proper order is starting from Shogeg and then going to Zadon and then going to a situation of merit of rebelling, so then why does Moshe Rabbeinu say it in the different order? So the Gemara says, Amar Moshe lefnei HaKadosh Baruch Hu, because Moshe says in front of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Ribono Shel Olam, Master of the world, B'shah sheYisrael chotin lefanecha v'yosin teshuva. When Klal Yisrael sin before you and they do teshuva, Asei lahem zedonos keshkagos. You should make that which they did on purpose as if they did it by mistake. In other words, Moshe Rabbeinu is saying, no, say avon v'fesha v'chata. It means turn the avonos into chet. Turn those things that are done on purpose into something that should only be counted like it's a mistake. And the Gemara continues, Amar Rav bar Shmuel Amar Rav. Rav bar Shmuel says in the name of Rav, Halacha kedivrei Chachamim. The halacha is like this view of the Chachamim, the majority opinion. The Gemara says, Pshit, it's obvious. Yachid v'Rabim, halacha k'Ravim. If you have a machlokas between an individual and a majority, you follow the majority. Why would we follow Rabbi Meir? Gemara says, Ma'od Tema, no, what might you have said, Mistaber time with Rabbi Meir? Rabbi Meir's reason is logical. To come Messiah lekra de Moshe, because he has a pasuk of Moshe Rabbeinu, as we just said, that seems to support the position of Rabbi Meir. Kamash Malon comes to teach us, no, we follow the Chachamim, we follow the Ravim. Gemara says, Ahud Nachas Kami de Rab of Yavid Rabbi Meir. There was a story of someone who came before Rab and he did like Rabbi Meir said. Amar Lei, so Rabbi said to him, Shavakt Rabbanan v'yavadet Rabbi Meir. You're leaving aside the Rabbanan, you're following Rabbi Meir. Amar Lei said to him, Rabbi Meir svirally. I hold like Rabbi Meir, Kedechsib b'Sefer Oraisa de Moshe, just like it says in the Torah, like Moshe says. In other words, I hold like Rabbi Meir for this exact reason. It seems to be supported by Moshe Rabbeinu. And the Gemara continues that the Tudat, Taner Rabbanan, the rabbis taught, V'chiper, the pasuk says, V'chiper, Rashi says, V'chiper Masha Amar b'Paro, V'chiper ba'ado v'yad beso, Divrei Vido. We're talking about the pasuk which says that when he brings his bull as a carbon, he has a kapara because he does vido, he does confession. And the Brisa says, "Bekaparas devarim akasim medaber." The pasuk here is talking about vido. It's talking about getting a kapara through a confession of words. So the Brisa says, "Ata omer bekaparas devarim, oeino ela kaparas damim." Is it talking about words, or maybe it's talking about blood? Maybe it's talking about bringing it as a typical carbon. When you sprinkle the blood, you'll get a kapara. So the Brisa says, Harei ani don. We can make the following Gezerah Shaveh, Nemra kan kapara v'nemra lahalan kapara. It says the word kapara over here, and it says the word kapara by the seir hamishtalech. That's the seir that is sent out. One of these seirs is sent out, and it says it's a kapara. Ma kapara ha'amura b'seir devarim. Just like by the seir hamishtalech, the kapara we're talking about there is words. Av kapara ha'amura b'par devarim. So too, when it says the word kapara, by this par, it's talking about through words, through a confession. Now, if you're going to argue and say maybe this Gezerah Shaveh is not good, even by this pasuk itself, by the parachatos, it says he brings the par and he gets the kapara. And in terms of the sequence, you haven't even shechted the par yet. So how could you say the kapara is dam if you haven't even shechted it yet? So even from the context of the pasuk itself, it's clear that we're talking about confession. And the Gemara says, "Ma'ivim nafshach lomar." What does the Brisa mean when it says, if you question the Gezerah Shaveh? Why would you question the Gezerah Shaveh? V'chitema neilef miseir hanas bifnim. Because you might say, why should we learn out from the seir that is mishtaleach, that is sent out? Maybe we should learn from the seir that's actually brought as a carbon on Yom Kippur. Shekaparasu bedamim, because in that case, the kapara is through the blood of the seir. Rashi over here says, "V'chitema neilef hay v'chiper mi kapara dechsiva b'seir hapnimi." The seir that's brought inside the Beis Hamikdash. Techsiv v'chiper al hakodesh mitumas b'nei Yisrael v'ahi b'matan hi debasar matan domim ksuva. That's talking about matan domim because it's written right after you actually place the blood. Furthermore, there is no confession by the seir hanasa bifnim. So how do you know which seir to learn out from? So that's why the Gemara was saying maybe you'll say the Gezerah Shaveh is not good. Again, neilef misir hanasa bifnim shekaparoso bedamim. Maybe we should learn from there where the kapara is through the blood. Harei omer v'chiper. So you can learn out from the context of the pasuk itself. It says v'chiper v'adayin lo nishchar apar. You haven't even shechted the par yet. Clearly, it's talking about the confession through words. We'll continue with this discussion in the next video on Daf Lamed Zayin Amud Aleph.